Good afternoon, I'm Darryl Hold, and we're going to do more of how to excel in a spelling bee, more letter A. And this time I wrote the letters bigger and in black to make it easier for you to read. Now, the goal of this is not only to excel at the spelling bee, but to add to your working vocabulary, which would be immensely useful for standardized exams such as the SAT, ACT. It'll also be very useful for your writing. So there's many great uses out of this, but this is oriented toward the spelling. So we will get the spelling down and the meaning. So the first word on this next group of letter A is, again, I don't vouch for my pronunciation, just do the best I possibly can. Acpetrine. Acpetrine. And does anybody know what acpetrine means? It means having a nose like a hawk's beak. Accipitrine. Acpetrine. Having a nose like a hawk's beak. And of course, we will be going over memory devices after this, like we did in the last video, to help you anchor this down in your memory. The next word is accubation. Accubation. And that's the practice of eating or drinking while lying down. Again, accubation. Accubation. The practice of eating or drinking while lying down. Our third word is achuliophobia. So this is one of those interesting fears. Achuliophobia. This is actually a fairly common one. It's a fear of darkness. Again, we spell this Achuliophobia. Achuliophobia. The next one here is acousticophobia. Acousticophobia. And that's a fear of noise. Our fifth one on the 10 words is adhocracy. Adhocracy. That's rulership by committees and task forces. Adhocracy. Our sixth one is adoxography. 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 Skilled writing about an unimportant subject. Number 7, aeolist. Aeolist. That's a boring person who pretends that they are inspired. Number 8, abactor. Abactor. That's a cattle thief. Number 9 are a barticular, not connected by a joint. Abarticular. A barticular, not connected with the joint. Number 10 is abattoir. Abattoir, and that is a public slaughterhouse. So let's go back to the first word, acpetrine. That's having a nose like a hawk's beak. And let's see what we can do to anchor down both the spelling and the vocab in our mind. Okay. So sometimes you have to create unusual memory devices. Other times we can use classical Latin and Greek roots or more common memory devices. So the Latin root AC means sharp, such as the word acid. So let's look at it this way. Think of a hawk has a sharp beak. So that would put that together there. Camera back on. Then we have accubation. A-C-C-U-B-A-T-I-O-N. That's the practice of eating or drinking while lying down. So think of it this way. If you're going to be lying down and eating or drinking, what in the word might remind you of that? Well, first, we have the AC, so you're not at a sharp angle, but it's difficult to get things down. So think of it this way. You need a bat to knock the food down. That may not be the strongest memory device for you, but I encourage you to create your own memory devices so that you don't need to do endless rote learning. Then we have achuliophobia, a very common phobia, a fear of darkness. So I'm looking at this and thinking, where are we going to get phobia? Definitely is fear. Where are we going to get fear of darkness here? Maybe in the dark, some people go, achoo, achuliophobia. Is that a memory device that works for you? I hope that it does. Otherwise, create your own. Again, achuliophobia, fear of darkness. All right. Then we have number 4, acousticophobia. This is a fear of noise. Now, this one should be a fairly easy one because anyone familiar with sound knows about acoustics. So, on acoustics, that's sound. So, a fear of noise. Now, a fear of noise is not the same as being annoyed by noise. It's a unreasoning thing. So always keep that in mind so that you don't get things confused. But again, acoustics are sound. So this is really acoustic, A-C-O-U-S-T-I-C-O, phobia. Fairly easy one. Adhocracy. That's rulership by committee or committees and task forces. So this really comes from the Latin expression ad hoc, which means you just kind of do things here, do things there, instead of having a centralized things. And adhocracy, sometimes I wonder the way a lot of government things work, if we don't really live by an adhocracy here. Just kind of a little thought there, because anytime a problem comes up, well, let's appoint a committee. Now, why did I go ahead and make a comment there about real world government and let's just make a committee? Because by me bringing that in, I'm creating a little story for you. And that's one thing that you want to do for yourself, is create stories to help you remember these words and the spelling of it. And again, this one is fairly phonetic. Ad hoc, H-O-C, adhocracy. So again, we have a phonetic spelling. All right, number 6, adoxography. I'm not quite sure in the pronunciation of that one. Adoxo, A-D-O-X-O-G-R-A-P-H-Y. Skilled writing about an unimportant subject. You know, thanks to the internet, there is just so much great writing about stuff that doesn't, to use the old cliche, doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Unimportant stuff. However, there is great opportunities for writers out there. We can talk about that on another video. So how are you going to remember that adoxography is about skilled writing on an unimportant subject? This is tough. We know graph, anything to do with graph has to do with writing. So you're going to bring that back. Spelling-wise, adoxography really is a fairly phonetic spelling. There's something that's called you say a pox on something, P-O-X. It's kind of like putting a negative on it. So how about this? think of docs rhymes with pox, negativity on the writing. We're going to get this camera back up. Doesn't want to stay up here today. Okay. Aliolist. Again, not that hard a word to spell, but what's your pronunciation on it? Not sure if I'm spot on any of these. I just do my best for you. A-E-O-L-A-S-T. This is a boring person who pretends that they are inspired. You know, if you're looking to get into college and university, you are going to suffer through a lot of aliolist professors. Very boring, thinks that they have great inspiration and great insight. Again, why do I make these comments? Because it will be easier to remember what it means, and again, how to spell. Abactor, A-B-A-C-T-O-R, that's a cattle thief. You know, why can't we just call him cattle thief? Well, it makes it interesting, it makes life interesting to have different words to use to mean the same thing. So how are you possibly going to remember that abactor means cattle thief? You know, I really don't know. Here's the best I can do for you. And again, so much of these videos is to teach you to create your own memory devices for spelling and vocabulary and to be creative for that. So I'm thinking we have C-T, cattle thief, right in the middle of the word, abactor. Okay, number 9, particular. Looks like it should rhyme with particular. It's not connected with a joint. Now, if you're familiar with some anatomy and physiology, there is something that's called articulating a joint. That has to do with movement on it. Also, if someone is articulate, they are well-spoken. And then the prefix AB means away from, so it means not connected with movement. That's going to help you on definition. How are you going to pin this down spelling-wise? Think of the word particular and then AB in front of it. So, away from particular. Again, we have particular, but AB in front of it. And the last one, I believe it's pronounced abattoir. That's a public slaughterhouse. Now, to me, that word just sounds like a soothing word, abattoir. Why that would be a public slaughterhouse, I don't get it. Again, if we go for the spelling on this, A-B-A-T-T-O-I-R, what you're going to look at here is we have A-B, and if you want to remember that it's a public slaughterhouse, if you think of the 2 T's in the middle that they use as a chopping block. Again, you know, creativity here. I hope you've enjoyed this second spelling bee video here on the letter A. More will be coming. If I can assist you personally, if you have any questions, you can contact me, Darryl Hold, at tutorpro88@gmail.com. Phone 770-324-0076. And my website is affordable-tutor.com. I put some pretty interesting things in the blog, so you may want to check that out too. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.